What's up, Vegas? Your boy Kyle Allison back with Season 3 of Music, Movies, Models, and Mayhem. Brought to you by iDrinkBeverages.com on VegasHypeMedia.com. Check us out all season long. We'll be here from the fall, the winter, the spring, to the summer. And check out our newer sponsor, iWorldCoffee.com on VegasHypeMedia.com. This is Music, Movies, Models, and Mayhem, Season 3. Woo! Hey, what's up, Vegas? We are back. It is Monday, February 24th. We got the wonderful Kristine Mirelle here in the studio, singer, songwriter, and pianist. We're going to get to her in just a second. We're going to play her song, all her songs here today. Well, not all of them, but every song that we feature today on the show is going to be from Kristine herself. We're going to start it off with Rat-Ta-Ta-Ta, which is by Kristine Mirelle. We're going to have her right back here in the studio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. And then you got Kristine Mirelle here on Music, Movies, Models, and Mayhem on VegasHypeMedia.com.
It's been hard to make friends out in H-Wood, where all the needles in the faces are obsession. Let me tell you, there's no amount of makeup, not enough filters on your phone for you to break up. All the confusion that's been going in our heads. We want love, but we're jumping in the bed. And I'm telling you, girl, cause I'm speaking from experience. Trying to help the next person who's delirious. If we're talking beauty, girl, you know that's just what you are. Can you hear me, girl? Come and take your broken heart and be strong today. So when they come and say you're too old, you're too young, you're too lame, you're too fun, it won't matter to you. Whoa, ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's play a game and don't lie. But do you have that money can't buy? Oh, so many people going broke trying to look rich. But if you only hear one thing here, this life is too short not to love, too short not to trust, too short to make fuss. So let's start today. Hey, hey. Don't go your whole life living afraid. I got $1 in my pocket, $2 I'm gonna rock it, $3 I'm like ra-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. If we're talking beauty, girl, you know that's just what you are. Can you hear me, girl? Come and take your broken heart and be strong today. So when they come and say you're too old, you're too young, you're too lame, you're too fun, it won't matter to you. Whoa, ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. I made a list of all the things that I need. 1 is a faith and 2 is a seed. I'ma move a mountain while they're watching me believe it. And they ain't all gonna believe it. Oh, why do they try to block the way? I'm telling you, girl, cause I'm speaking from experience. Listen up and don't take them so serious. I got $1 in my pocket, $2 I'm gonna rock it, $3 I'm like ra-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. If we're talking beauty, girl, you know that's just what you are. Can you hear me, girl? Come and take your broken heart and be strong today. So when they come and say you're too old, you're too young, you're too lame, you're too fun, it won't matter to you. It won't matter to you. If we're talking beauty, girl, you know that's just what you are. Can you hear me, girl? Come and take your broken heart and be strong today. So when they come and say you're too old, you're too young, you're too lame, you're too fun, it won't matter to you. Whoa, ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 ra-ta-ta, yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa.
And that was Rat-Ta-Ta-Ta by the lovely Kristine Mirelle. She is here. Kristine,
you.
welcome finally to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we made this happen. I know we've been trying to do this for a while.
You know, last time I saw you was it was here in Vegas. What was that? Was that 2016?
You know what? The last time I saw you me and my best friend Vanessa here, we were on tour.
Yes,
And
the 25 city
the
tour.
25 city tour. Oh my God, time flies. It's been a couple
Time
years.
flies. We did have sushi though. We did go to sushi.
We did. I remember that.
Yeah, we did go to
It
sushi.
was awesome.
Yes.
It was. Thank you for that. I do remember that. I do remember. Yeah,
I
it
had
was
hair
cool.
back. I didn't have hair then.
You're right.
My hair was
You're
a
way
lot
cooler now.
shorter than it is now. What's been going on in your world? Other than me, a lot has changed since we last seen each other. A lot has changed for you. I mean, you've moved. You've grown in areas, and you've had some new family members added to the clan.
Yes.
What has life been like for you since the last 4 years since I last saw you?
Oh my God, I can't believe that time has flown by like
Yeah.
that. So I was living in LA whenever
Mhm.
I lived in LA for 10 years, was performing and the madness. If you know, I do so many shows. I was doing a lot out there. And then I decided to come to Vegas. I had lived in Vegas like 10 years ago, decided to come back out here and start again. And I had my beautiful baby boy.
He's in the background
He's
over
in
there.
the background over there playing
Think
with
he's
books
think
and
he's
stuff.
like eating something.
Yeah, he's eating some. So I've been out here just performing a lot. I love all the casinos out here. They're so, tourists are awesome because they're always in a good mood.
Yeah.
They're out here partying.
Some of them.
Most of them, though.
Some of them. People in the service industry out here could probably tell you a different
Okay.
of two stories.
Oh, yeah.
But some of them. What brought you back to Vegas? What was it? What made you come back? What brought all that on for you?
Yeah. So mostly getting pregnant with my baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here. I bought a home here and just wanted. There was a lot where I'd be driving 2 hours. Traffic.
Yeah.
It's like to go 1
Yeah.
mile, it takes you like 4 days.
Yeah, for real, crazy.
So I'm like, I guess I'll get there on Thursday if I start now. So I was like, well, I wanted a place where I could perform more and not have to do that. So I know that people here are like traffic, but I'm like, if I get somewhere in 30 minutes or less, I'm like, yes. Winning.
Which you still can do. We'll see how things go come the fall time when the Raiders are in full swing here.
God.
We'll see what changes those bring.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we first met, you were on a 25 city tour. Plans to do anything like that again?
Been talking about it. Obviously, it's a little different having my little guy.
Right.
So I'm working it out where I love the thought that as a musician I can travel and I have that freedom and I can bring him along.
Right.
As well as spend time with him
Mhm.
and expose him to traveling and seeing the world and
Seeing the world and seeing all the wonderful people and cities that you get to visit. What did
Yeah.
you learn from being on that 25 city world tour that
Oh,
you
man.
did, years back? What did you learn about yourself as an artist and as a person?
Oh, it was crazy because this was a really unique tour because we would do sometimes 3 shows a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing both volunteering, so we would perform during the day for kids, mostly children,
Right.
at boys and girls clubs or schools and that sort of thing. And it was really fun, talking to the kids about following their dreams. And then at night, I was performing at like bars and casinos, restaurants, whatever it is, to actually finance the tour. So I
Right.
was performing for free, charity stuff during the day, and then at night I would perform at cool places where they would pay me. And so I was learning a lot about, oh my gosh, so much. I guess pushing my own limits
Right.
as well. Like what can I do? What am I physically capable of doing? Because I know when we started it out, it's like we could do like 3 shows a day. We do like 90 shows a month. It's just insane. And then at the end of the 3 months, I was like, oh my God, I am like, I get it. Like I get when people are like, I'm burnt
Now,
out.
I'm tired of living out of this suitcase.
Yeah, and that was the thing, and it was we did it very uniquely because we stayed with even strangers, people that we've never met.
Which when you told me that, I was like, gosh, that's
It was-
crazy. But that's determination from you. You
It was
got to
so
do
random.
stuff like that to make those dreams happen. Sometimes you got to take those chances and risks.
And it was fun though. That was the exciting part because there were times when we stayed in hotels,
Hmm.
but you don't get you don't have a local,
Right.
or you're not like we had times where like there was even one time I think it was in Nashville, sleeping on a floor. It was like sleeping on someone's floor because it was like that was what we had at the time.
Right.
But it was so cool. And then the next day we'd be in like a beautiful hotel somewhere,
Right.
And then someone would be treating us to dinner, and then the next day it was back to like McDonald's, So it was just like it was just a really cool. I've done tours where it's like I've had like everything, beautifully like taken care of and everything, and then I've done tours where I've set it up, and this was more of a charity, where we got to do kind of more fun stuff like that. So it just made for a lot of great stories and a lot of great.
Now, was there
experiences.
any point during that tour that you was like, what have I gotten myself into?
Oh God, like every day, every morning, I think. Because in the morning, every morning I'd be like, "Oh man, what am I doing?" Because there were times when it was like 120 degrees in like San Antonio in the middle of the summer, and it's like so hot, and
Right.
we're like bringing CDs
And
in,
you
and
got
we're
the
bringing
humidity.
and the humidity, and there's just so much going on. I'm like, "Oh my God!" And we got 3 more shows, and tonight,
Yeah, it's like, ah.
it was a lot. So yes, it was a lot of pushing a lot of limits.
Now we're gonna touch on a few things, a lot of things here about your career, but we just got finished playing one of your songs, "Rat-ta-ta-ta." Talk to me about what was the inspiration for that song, because I really like that song. The first time I actually heard it was actually this past week. I kind of been stuck on your other song, "Freaking Mess,"
Oh yeah.
which I really really like. But talk to me about what was the inspiration for "Rat-ta-ta-ta."
Oh yeah, so ratatata. It's not a word, obviously. I made it up, so it's a word now. But it was just I actually wrote it before I went on tour,
Hmm.
and so that if you listen to the lyrics a lot are about you're beautiful no matter what,
Right.
and just you don't need that Instagram filter, and you don't need like all that stuff that we do. And I'm not gonna lie, I use the Instagram filter all the time, but I'm just saying, it's just talking about loving yourself
Right.
and having faith, following your dreams, that sort of thing. So because we were talking to kids so much, I wanted a song that would embody that. So
Right.
like and that was the whole message of the tour was follow your dreams. You don't have to do what everyone else tells you, you're supposed to do.
Right.
And I'm not. Look at me. Like I come from a really small town, and look at what I've done. I've gotten to travel the world and do some cool stuff. And so that was the whole message of it.
Speaking of small towns, you want to tell everybody exactly where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm from Roswell, New Mexico. I know I got some people like tuning in right now from Roswell. I know most people know it because they're like, "Is that where the aliens landed?" Yeah.
Yeah, and they did like 2 shows about
Oh my
that.
God.
2 sitcoms, 2 series that came out about that show. What was life living like in Roswell? Did you see any aliens?
I know, right?
Are you an alien?
I know. I know. Maybe I can't tell you though. We've sworn to secrecy. Yeah. So it's very interesting because it's probably not what you think you're gonna come in and there's gonna be like do 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 music or
Right.
something, but it's not. It's a small town, maybe only 40,000 people. Wonderful food, lots of Mexican restaurants, and primarily Hispanic community.
Hmm.
Very small town, but we have like a lot of cool stuff. Like our McDonald's is like shaped like a UFO.
So you guys kind of use it to your advantage,
Yeah, that's all we got. We
right?
don't got a lot there. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. We got like a big cheese factory. Like we have the biggest cheese factory in the world.
Oh
Just
wow, who
saying,
I would have not
you
guessed that.
know,
I would have been like, oh,
just
Wisconsin has
saying.
that.
No, we actually have
You
the
actually
biggest
have
cheese
that.
factory. Yeah. So, we got a couple things, couple claims to fame. But yeah, that's what most people know it for.
It's the UFOs that landed there, and that was that back in the 60s, 50s, or something that happened.
1949,
Oh, even before then.
I think it was
Yeah.
1949.
Which is a crazy how that whole story spun and how it still
I
holds
know.
to this day.
Yeah.
You have a Facebook group that you started with Gig Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
did. Oh, I didn't know you knew that.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, actually, probably got some people chiming in from there actually
Cool.
right now, so that's awesome.
And what was the inspiration for putting that together?
Yeah, so I started a few years ago. I maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I started working with artists, and I started helping them create their own careers. Because I'm an independent, I don't have a record label. I don't have a manager or anything like that. People think that they only have an option to. You're either famous or you're broke.
Right.
They don't realize that there's a middle ground
Right.
where you can make a living, and you can have your nice little following, but you don't have to be famous to make a living doing music. And you can
Right.
travel the world, and you can have all these awesome opportunities to perform and hit stages and do all that sort of stuff, even if you don't have a big social media following, all that kind of stuff. And so I released some books to help artists, and I called it Gig Magic. And basically based around like, here's the magic wand, guys. This is how you book gigs. But really, it's not magic. It's really a very simple concept that anybody could learn. And so I
Right.
put together this Facebook group, and I have, people from all over the world that have joined it now, and just kind of, I'm always sharing tips and tricks. I have a YouTube channel on how to book gigs, how to get booking agents. How to do it. I posted one yesterday of how I do it as a single mom. How do I manage?
Which is a new territory for you.
Yeah. So I'm learning too as I'm sharing stuff. I'm like, this is what I've learned so far. And so I share how I do that because I know a lot of females are told you can't have a child and
Right.
be in the music industry, or if you get pregnant, forget about,
Like you're done.
yeah, you're done. But I was performing at, all the major casinos here, Aria, Paris, Mirage, up until 4 days before I gave birth. Like I
Wow.
was 4 days before I gave birth. I was still performing
That's
all
the
these.
power of a woman, folks.
Yeah, we can do that. So it's like just trying to encourage people that you can do it independently. You can do it as a woman. You can do it as a mom. You can do it, from a small town. You can do it. You have no money and don't know anybody. I grew up in like farmland, so that's why I created it. So it's been really fun.
Now, when you first started out, because you were also on a little show back in, what was it, 2013, that was that The Voice for you? Now, when you first started, did you want to have a record deal and a manager? Because obviously, not knowing that you could not do it either way, how did you figure out that you don't need that? I mean, obviously now with a lot of social media, a lot of people are figuring out they can do this on their own and cut out the middleman and kind of move things along themselves. When did the epiphany hit you that I really don't need these parts to put myself in a position that I want to be in?
Yeah, so I actually was signed with a record label
Mhm.
under a subsidiary under Universal. I've had multiple managers,
Mm-hmm.
and during those years, I didn't make any money, so that was enough.
Yeah,
You
'cause
know,
everybody
right?
want their part
I'm like,
first.
man, I didn't make any money. And then all of a sudden, I started making money when I was independent. Once I started learning how to book gigs, how to, and I started doing the work myself. I
Mhm.
started calling venues. I started putting together, my own show. I started going, well, if I had to do this independently, how would I do it? Let me try that, because I've tried all these other ways.
Right.
How do I do this? So I started just doing the work myself. What songs do I need to sing? What do I need to do to get a crowd engaged? And so once I started seeing results, and it was like the first, gig that I got was 5 nights a week in Hollywood. And as a no name, nobody knew who I was.
Right.
And it was like, whoa, I got a 5 night a week residency. And it was like, that was my epiphany. Like, I can do this without anybody else. And it doesn't mean that it's bad to get a, a
Right.
record deal. It doesn't mean it's bad to
It
get a
just wasn't for
manager.
you.
It just it hadn't worked for me at
Right.
that point. Maybe the people that I had chosen to collaborate with, it just wasn't working. So that was really the moment.
That you said, you know what,
I'm like, I can do this independently.
taking it now. Obviously, you're have a little boy now, and it's yourself. You still have a team around you. I'm assuming of people that you chose to have in your corner, because obviously no one can do this thing called life by themselves. You need help here and there. How your team that you have with you, obviously, is probably family and friends, which is probably some of the most trusted people that you have around you. That's that she's like I can trust this person with my life. Was that easy for you to make that transition, because you have such a good support system behind you saying it'll be all right, we can do this all together, and we can pitch in and help out here and there? Because I think your sister also takes pictures of you too as well.
Mhm.
She's a photographer.
Absolutely.
Some of your shots on social media from your sister, you're always shouting her out. I did
Yeah.
notice that.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Family is like everything.
Right.
And I'll say that's definitely been a huge part of getting through all this. But
Right.
I'll say, even with family though, children. Do you have kids? God, like whatever you think it is, it's 10 times harder.
Yes.
Like whatever, like everyone told me, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. I'll feed him. He'll sleep. It's fine. I was up at 3 o'clock this morning. 3 o'clock this morning, he was up wanting to play and watch cartoons
He
for
was
an hour
just
and a
trying to
half.
help you to get that workout in.
So I'm like, it's no matter what, no matter how much help you have, like it's just figuring it out. And that's just life in general.
Right.
We go through just different things, and it's just transitioning. Okay, how do I manage? But it's just like a boom. Totally, your life is different now.
Right.
And you have no idea what to expect, and it's a surprise every day.
Every day is a new adventure with this little person.
Absolutely.
And change your whole life. Your books that you put out, how can people, and obviously we'll get to even more of this, your website, which you guys can see right below her name is KristineMirelle.com. What made you want to write the books yourself, outside of putting together your ideas and have someone write them for you? What made you want to do? Because that's a lot of work too.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I put together these books. They're specifically to help artists that want to do what I do, like independently, performing, making a living. I don't have a 9 to 5. This
Right.
is what I do for a living. And so I put those together as resources. And I knew if I gave the job to anybody else, it's not a job that someone else can do unless they've done it.
Right.
Right. So if I ask someone else off the street to write a book on how to be an independent artist, they're going to have no idea how
Right.
to do it. So I put together, and consistently update and consistently post new, everything from, like I said, getting agents and how to, book your own tours,
Right.
all that kind of stuff. I put all that together because it's how I've done it. So it's my personal way. So it's not the only way, but it's how I've done it. And you go on YouTube and you have people on there going, this is how you get famous, and this is how, and then you look them up and it's like, oh, but they work at, Macy's. And you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with working at Macy's, but maybe this isn't the person that you should be learning how to have a music career from,
Right.
because that person's not actually doing it.
They're not actually living,
They're not actually
living
living
and
it.
breathing it.
And that's why it was very important for me to do it, because I wanted them to have that experience. Like, this is from experience. I'm telling you because this is what I've been through and this is what has worked for me.
And now with you being a mother, other than it being more work on your shoulders, what have you find to be the most challenging now that you have the motherhood thing thrown in with the musician thing, and you're also an entrepreneur, which we'll talk about in a second too, because you also have another company that deals with food. But get to that in just a second. But with this new component of motherhood, what's life been like trying to now juggle those things? Is it are you finding it not too bad? Is it a little easy for you, or has
No,
it
it's bad.
or it's been pretty challenging?
No, it's very challenging. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it. No, it is hard. Like I told you this morning, he was up until, he's up till midnight, and then he's up at 3, and then he's up till 4:30,
so
and then he's up till
he lives in the right city. If he's up to midnight, he's in the right city.
He's like, I'm in Vegas, Mom. I don't know. This is a city that never sleeps. Entertainment capital of the world. So I'm like, all right, baby. So it's very hard, but it's exciting at the same time, because again, I get excited by challenges.
Right.
And it's like, okay, and the biggest challenge that I'll say is prioritizing time.
Mm-hmm.
There's some days where I might have 20 minutes to myself.
Right.
And I have to prioritize and write down, if I have only 20 minutes today, there's only 20 minutes where I can focus on, a business, one of my business that I have, or a book, or what do I do today?
Right.
If that's all that I have. Because right now he's teething, so there's teeth coming in. I know if I even have like one tooth that hurts, I'm like not very pleasant. He has like all kinds of teeth coming in, so he's going through some, struggles, and he's just getting introduced to solid foods, and, like, it's his little belly, he's like having some, fun gifts in his diapers, so doing all that while I'm recording an album right now, and doing that. And then I did, like, in November, I did 30 shows. So I did a show every single day, 30 shows at all these casinos here. And so balancing all that and then trying to get sleep. Oh,
right,
God.
which is important, especially for a singer. You need to rest those vocal cords and get the proper amount of rest so you can sound your best.
It has been 7 months. I have not gotten one
Jeez.
night. You're upset when you haven't gotten 1 week. I haven't gotten 7 months. But then I wake up and I have this beautiful baby boy. So it's like it's intense, like, exhaustion.
Right.
And then it's intense, like, wow, you are the best feeling that I've ever had in my life. And I would never put this back. I would never trade the sleep for anything else. I'll give up my sleep for the rest of my life if I have to.
And he's like, you're going to.
Yeah. He's like, you can count on it, Mom.
Now, speaking about you being an entrepreneur, you also have a food company with tortilla chips and salsa. Yes, what's that called?
I do. So I started a tortilla chip company back in 2009.
Which I have to know, why did you do that?
I know. It's so funny. Everyone's like, tortilla chips. Okay, first of all, I love when artists have, like, perfume and, clothing lines.
Right,
like, that's sexy, and
right.
It's like so cool. Like, I got a clothing line.
Branching
Like,
their brand out.
That's really cool. Like that, you get some cool points. I think tortilla chips, everyone goes, what? What are tortilla chips? I just think that that's just so much more fun. And
that's a competitive market too.
It is. I'm coming for Doritos, though. I'm coming for Doritos. So, and I just think that that's more like, one, it's more reflective of my personality because I'm just really easygoing and fun. But also, my family has been in food for a long time. So they've been had everything from Mexican restaurants to their own products. So this was kind of my own product that I made. So that was mainly where the inspiration came from.
And now, can anyone how can people obtain this product?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's called Little Christie's.
Mm-hmm.
All my people from New Mexico, you can get them at Whole Foods. They're at Sprouts.
We have a few of those out here.
They're at Albertsons.
We have a few of those too.
Yeah. Well, they're not here in Vegas yet.
What?
They'll be here in Vegas. Right now, they're just in New Mexico and West Texas, but I'm working on it. I
Okay.
promise. And I meant to bring you some chips today.
We'll hold her to that, folks.
Oh, which, by the way, can I just add something? All that in a bag of chips.
Yes.
I own that trademark. Nobody owned it. I was so surprised that nobody. So on the back of my bag, it says all that in a bag of chips. I'm like, nobody can use it. It's mine.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's a very catchy line that people have used all over the past years and stuff. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And so and you said you had it since 2009. How are things going with that particular part of your life?
Yeah, it's going really well. It's in about 120 stores now.
That's wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Now, what's the process of getting a product made and into an actual national store? What's that like?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. I mean, I think people see the sexy part like, oh, cool, or somebody maybe makes a sauce and they're like, I want to have my own sauce.
Right.
That's like 5% or like 1%.
Right.
There's all the other stuff, getting UPC barcodes and getting, the right permits and getting the right insurances and getting, there's a million other products that these grocery stores are getting asked to carry.
Right.
So if I don't have a lot of money to give them, how do I get them in the stores? So
how did you?
So what I did was, actually, that's a good question. People that are wanting to do food, take notes. I didn't have money, and a lot of so shelf space, it's like a rental. So people
Yes.
actually pay for it. Doritos might pay $50,000 a year just to own, or maybe more, I don't really know, but to own certain areas. I didn't have that. At the time, I didn't have anything. I was sleeping on a friend's couch, so I didn't have any money. So what I did was I just promised Whole Foods I would be there every weekend hustling. So I was there every weekend selling chips. So I would stand inside of the grocery store passing out samples,
Right.
asking people to buy the chips. And within like 2 months, it was in the top 10 grocery store items.
Wow.
So I was
So
out
it's a good
there.
product.
It's a
then.
good product. Yes, I will say that. But just like anything, you have to like bust your butt and promote it because you can't just put something on the shelf. Just like music.
Right.
You can't just make a song and like
And
put it
hope
on
people
YouTube and
gravitate
hope.
to it.
There's always like, it got featured on a blog or it got featured on this. And before it gets popular, and it was the same thing with the food. I just had to be there every day, like hustling, getting people to try it and being like, hey, I made this. Will you try it? I'm a local.
Give me a shot.
Yeah, give me a chance.
I won't let you down.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's been 2009. Do you have links to it on your website?
Oh, yeah. They can go to lilchristies.com.
Oh, it has its own website.
Yeah, it has its own website. Or if they go to KristineMirelle.com, there's a special little section, I think, on the bottom.
Cool for you guys that want to check it out. Now, now I know you said it's not in Vegas, but for anybody that's listening elsewhere in the United States, can it be shipped to them?
Possibly. Yep. You know what? I used to offer that. It's always hard to ship chips
Right,
because
'cause they
like
break.
and but I have shipped some off. So there's like a contact form on there. So if people are really interested, I have shipped some off for people. But it ends up costing more to ship the product than to just buy the product. But it's like, hey, if you want it, it's worth it.
And that's why Postmates and Uber Eats is doing so well. If you want it, you're gonna spend X amount of money to get it,
Exactly.
even though it's probably double or triple the cost of what it originally cost if you just went and got it yourself. But that's just markup costs and life in general in 2020.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a small break here and play some more Kristine's music. We're gonna go ahead with "Freaking Mess," which I said is one of my favorite songs, and we got more with Kristine Mirelle here on Music, Movies, Models, and Mayhem on VegasHypeMedia.com. Keep it right there, and we'll be right back. This is "Freaking Mess."
Dear Mr. Interested, I know you really like me, but before you get invested, don't fall in love with me. 'Cause I'm mean, then I'm kind, and then I'm cruel. Just a little too unstable for you. I'm always saying no, 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 no. And I wanna say yeah, 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 yes. You should really know, no, 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 that I'm a friggin' mess. Oh, I'm a friggin' mess. Oh, I'm an F-I-E-A-K-I-M freaking mess. Dear Mr. Interested, see, I really like you, but wait just a minute, then I'll be screaming, go to hello, Joe. I can get real cold and it gets real old. Are you listening? 'Cause there are things you should know. Hey, 'cause I'm just a functional alcoholic. I'll drink a grown man, not even trying. I don't wanna hurt you, but it's getting kinda hard when I'm always freaking falling apart. I'm always saying no, 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 no. And I wanna say yeah, yeah, waters before you. And I only say that I miss you, only say that I need you. While I'm on my phone drunk dialing, and I'm calling 'cause I need a ride. And I'm always telling you no, 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 no. And I wanna say yeah, 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 yeah. You should really know, no, 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 that I'm a freaking mess. Oh, I'm a freaking mess. I'm always saying no, 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 no. And I wanna say yeah, 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 yes. You should really know, no, 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 no. I'm a freaking mess. Oh, I'm a freaking mess. I'm always saying no, 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 no. I wanna say yeah, 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 yes. You should really know, no, 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 no. That I'm a freaking mess. So I'm a freaking mess. Oh, I'm a F-I-E-A-K-I-N freaking mess. Oh, I'm an F-I-E-A-K-I-N freaking mess. Oh, I'm an F-I-E-A-K-I-N freaking mess. Oh, I'm an F-I-E-A-K-I-N freaking mess. You're so hard to please. When I think of you, all of my bones still get weak. 'Cause this is still new. I keep saying that I never really needed you. I vocalize. 'Cause I can't breathe. I've given you everything, and I heard that you found another one to fill the place where I used to be. You don't know how I felt. You don't know how I felt, but you don't know, you don't got, you don't know. All of those lights in my eyes, shining right through, making me hopeful and blind. Is all that while you were just testing, I was the one investing in you. And that's the truth. I can't breathe. I've given you everything, and I heard that you found another one to fill the place where I used to be. You don't know how I felt. You don't know how I felt, but you don't know, you don't got, you don't know. You don't know how I felt. You don't know how I felt, but you don't know, you don't got, you don't know. You don't know.
And that was You Ought to Know by the lovely Kristine Mirelle Followed by Freaking Mess, which is one of my favorite songs off of, which album is that off of?
That was off my recent album, the Ratatata album.
Yeah, and now speak to us about these two songs. What made you come up with Freaking Mess? Because the video is pretty crazy.
I
I mean,
know.
you're robbing people,
Yeah,
you got a
it was
little
really
person
fun.
with you, and
It was so much fun. It was just freaking mess was like it was just that time period in my life. So it's just saying I'm a freaking mess. So it was just saying like, all right, it was kind of like a song to like the guys that were like trying to date me. I'm like, I don't think you want to do this. I'm a freaking mess. I'm gonna tell you what you're about to get into, but so
and
that's what it was.
if you choose the latter, then beware.
Beware.
You were warned.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
We wanted to also talk about how did you get started? I mean, you not only are you a singer, but you're also a very accomplished pianist. What came first, the singing or the piano playing, or they kind of came together?
Yeah, so my mom got me in piano lessons when I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Good
was
time to
like,
start.
yeah, it was. And she didn't force me to do it. She said, you got 1 year, and if you don't like it, you can quit. And I fell in love with it. I loved classical piano. So I was doing a bunch of like cool competitions
Mm-hmm.
and, national competitions and stuff like that. So I just fell in love with it and was always singing too. So I don't remember which one was first.
Right.
I don't know because all my family, like everyone sings and plays instruments and, so it was kind of always just like a family thing.
Family thing. Everybody jump in, join in.
Yeah.
Where did you shoot Freaking Mess at?
Freaking Mess, we shot in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So that was shot in Los Angeles, like Burbank area. I don't know if you know LA very well.
Yeah, I know. I love Burbank area.
Yeah,
A lot of
so-
studios out that way.
Yeah, lots of studios out there. So I was performed the whole music video. It took 3 days, and then we
Mhm.
had to do a fourth day as well.
Wow.
So it was 4 days of like, I don't know, 14-hour days or 16-hour days. It was nuts, but it was so much fun. And the video was probably, I don't know, probably the funnest video. Holding people ransom, robbing bakeries, like driving around in little cars, and all kinds of stuff. So
Now, I think you have a YouTube video talking about how you can, get your own video, make your own video. Obviously, if you don't have a big budget.
yeah.
I saw that on your YouTube page as well. Can you speak about that? What it takes to get a video made if you don't have a lot of money?
Yeah.
And you need to do it yourself?
Absolutely. So I've been on, different ends of the spectrum where I
Mhm.
had absolutely nothing,
Right.
and then where I had, money to spend. So when I've, had absolutely no money to spend, I'll say that most of the time people don't even know the difference.
Right.
So most of what I've done is I always tell everyone the most where you can be self-sufficient. The most self-sufficient you are, the better. So I learned how to do video editing. That was a big one. Not having to pay a video editor because that can cost thousands of dollars. So I just learned how to do types of stuff like that. I bought me a camera, and then my friends, my friend Vanessa, who's actually here right now, she's not even a videographer, but she would shoot it. You just know, like you look at a camera, hey, does this look good or does it not look good? And when we didn't have light, it was like, all right, we can only shoot from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, but we're good during that time.
Right.
So it's like, let's use that light, or let's use, and as over
The trial
time.
by error.
Yeah. And then just like sometimes we'd shoot like 5 minutes of video, kind of like I'll take like 200 selfies and like one will be good. And then everyone's like, you're so photogenic. And I'm like, yeah. But the truth
you
is,
don't know the process of how I got to this
the truth
picture.
is I took 200 photos. If I take 200 photos, there's going to be one
It's
good one.
bound to be, right?
It's the same thing with the videos. It's like if you shoot like hours and hours of stuff, you got some good stuff in there. But that was the alternative to not spending any money. So it's like, okay, we got to get a little creative and do stuff ourselves.
And what you guys did, the video was very, very creative.
Thank you.
What is your process when it comes to creating new music for yourself? You said right now you're in the midst of recording a new album. Can you speak on what that album, what the concept of it is, and what direction you're going in? Are you coming with a new sound?
Yeah, this one's really interesting because so I'm recording this album with Frankie Moreno.
Mhm.
Frankie Moreno is a big headliner out here.
Right.
He's awesome. I met him 10 years ago
Mhm.
when he was performing in Golden Nugget, which is a
Right.
tiny little lounge, and since then he's been traveling the world and selling out like Carnegie Hall and all kinds of crazy stuff, and just now holds like Billboard's record for #1 albums ever released, and he's just done so amazing as an independent artist. And being in Vegas, I perform so much. That's been a part of my life.
Right.
There's been years where I've done 400 shows, like 400, paid shows around the world. And these are long. These are like 4-hour shows. I'm not doing little like 2 songs here and there. I'm doing big ones. So it's such a big part of my life. So with that being said, this album, I wanted to collaborate with Frankie because Frankie's an independent artist that I've always admired. And so we're producing it and creating it together. I wrote all the songs on it, but the album is called The Show. and it's recorded with all live instruments, and it's recorded like how we would perform live.
Hmm.
So it's not necessarily
Which you don't see a lot of anymore.
God, never.
Used to see albums like that back in the day, but
And it's
not
more radio friendly now.
Hmm.
So you're getting like, radio edits. Here we have like, piano solos and trumpet solos and cool stuff in there that you would usually only hear if you were watching a live show.
Right.
But because that's such a big part of my life and how I've built my career, it was like, why not? Let's
Right.
just make this whole album based off of live instruments. If that's my favorite thing, is having a big band full of talented people that are just awesome, and we can jam together. So that's what this album is.
Now, are you guys recording that out here, or is it LA for you? Or a
So
bit of
it's
both?
actually here in Vegas. Yeah, we're recording it here in Vegas. So I've been like documenting that online,
Mhm.
and we're about halfway done.
And do you have a release date tentative?
I'm thinking like June.
Okay.
So I was trying to do it top of the year, but it's been just
Right.
baby duties.
You had another album you two were creating.
Yeah, there we go. I got my little guy.
Helping to build.
You make plans, and then life is like,
Life throws you some lemons, and you just make some lemonade,
yeah,
right?
exactly. But it's still, I'm just loving it. It's so much fun.
Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it and still able to keep embark on your career. But since you are here, one of our favorite things we like to do here on the show is called 10 questions.
Okay.
And you are in the hot seat, so we're gonna play 10 questions here on music, movies, models, and mayhem. This is the
Ooh.
Kristine Mirelle version.
I'm scared.
Don't be there. Simple, easy questions.
Okay.
Let's go into the first one. Who is your favorite music artist?
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Ooh, great one. Favorite venue you would love to perform at?
Ooh, favorite venue. You know what? I would love to do Carnegie Hall with
Oh,
a full orchestra behind me. Like, that's what I want to do.
that's on the bucket list.
That is gonna happen.
Awesome.
I'm saying it now.
Favorite coach that was on The Voice. Who was your favorite coach when you were on The
Usher.
Voice?
Well, I was on X Factor.
X
I was
Factor.
on
Yes,
X Factor.
Yes.
But
Who was your favorite judge? Then?
Ooh, my favorite judge. You know what? Simon was actually really nice to me.
Yeah.
I liked Simon. He was cool. I'm gonna say that he
Yeah,
was.
he probably was nice to you because you actually have talent, which I noticed about him. Like he knows talent when he
yeah,
sees
he
it.
could be pretty mean.
Yeah, well,
but
he'd be telling the truth.
yeah, he was just brutally honest.
Who would you rather do a duet with, Prince or Alicia Keys?
I would say Prince. Absolutely, because because I play piano, everybody would assume that I would do with Alicia Keys, which I love her
Right.
as well.
Right.
Absolutely love her. But Prince, man, he's whole other level.
Which instrument would you like him to play with you as you're playing the piano?
Ooh,
Because
oh,
he's so
man.
fluent in so many.
All of them.
All of 'em.
I don't know if I was going to choose one, probably guitar. Because I
Guitar,
would.
yeah.
I only play one instrument.
Right.
So I can't be switching around. It sounds ridiculous if we try to switch instruments. But
What is your favorite song that you have created?
ooh, favorite song. Wow, that's a good one. You know what? I don't know a favorite one right now. What comes to mind is I have a song called Young Soul,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I share some kind of details about my life that I haven't shared before, and it was just really trying to encourage other people. So I'd probably say that song.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, Young Soul's on my
Yeah.
my last album.
What is your favorite instrument outside of the piano?
Guitar or violin?
Guitar, violin. Would you ever try to master one of those?
I play both of them very like.
Blase.
Yeah, I know some basic chords, and
We'll
so I kind of
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
What is your favorite hobby?
Well, music, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from music, I love traveling.
Traveling.
That's my favorite.
You got a favorite place that you haven't been and would like to get to?
Ooh, what I want. You know what? There's a few places I want to go, but on the bucket list right now, I want to go to Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
I love Asia. I've been
Yeah,
to a few different places in Asia.
Cool. And what is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Sweets.
You
Sweets and bread. Like just sugar and bread.
all things not good for
Yeah,
you.
just a whole bag of diabetes. Just sugar everywhere. That's what I like.
If you could have lunch with one person that's dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, I don't even know how to answer that one. God, that's... Jeez. I can't even think of any. That's a hard one.
That's a good one.
That's a hard one.
That's a good
God,
one.
I don't even know. Nobody even comes to mind
No,
right now.
no. I'm gonna say George Michael for me.
Okay. I was gonna say like a big philosopher.
Oh, that's cool.
You
I'm
know?
sure it'd be a great
I
conversation.
feel like that one because I have all these questions like, what's the meaning of life? I would want to get all deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 10. How do you measure success in your profession?
Yeah. You know what? This is a good question. Are you doing what you want to do? Because so many people are doing what they think they need to do to look like they're doing something successful in everyone else's eyes. So some people are like, I need 1 million followers on social media, but
Right.
is that contributing to what you really want to do? Are you really wanting to travel? Are you really wanting to, what is it that you're wanting to do? So I think at the end of the day, are you doing what you actually want to do, whether it be performing, making music, or whether you want to just sit at home and produce songs for other people? Are you doing what you want to do? I think that's the most important thing.
And that is question number 10 on 10 questions here on Music, Movies, Models, and Mayhem here on VegasHypeMedia.com. Thanks, Kristine, for playing on that one. Make sure you guys visit us on our Instagram page and check out our sponsor. They have their own Instagram page. It's at I Drink Beverages, or you can find out about them on their website. It's idrinkbeverages.com. They're our official sponsor here on the show. It is hashtag NextGenH2O. It is more than just water. That is I Drink Beverages. It is the bottle with the green cap on it. Can't miss it. It's a very unique bottle. Best water on the market. Make sure you guys go check them at idrinkbeverages.com, please. And thank you. Kristine, back to you. You're working on the album. Have you ever seen yourself segue into movies and stuff like that?
I did one like independent film a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it was cool. It was a cool experience. I'm not really in love with it. I honestly I'm very content with. I just love music.
Just love
That's it.
music.
I love music.
Do you like
Everything
shooting?
about it.
Do you like shooting the music videos side of your music?
The music videos are fun to have,
Mhm.
at the end. But even that, even shooting the music videos, it's fun. My favorite part is creating the music
Creating
and creating the instrumental. Particularly, I love creating the instruments because the music creates the feeling,
Right.
and that's my favorite thing. It absolutely is. So movies are cool. I don't know if someone offered me a really cool role, I would take it.
Right.
But I'm not going to be showing up at auditions and stuff, and
Right.
trying to pursue it.
I just need the script in my lap. Let me look it over. If it looks good to me,
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't know
deal.
if that's going to happen, but hey,
it could happen.
it could.
You never know.
You know?
Back to your music career, since that's what we're mostly here about. When is your next upcoming shows? How can people come see you? And then also, how can people hear you?
Yeah. So I actually have one at Fiesta Casino here on Thursday, I believe. I think it's called 2020 Lounge. That's where I'm playing. And I play frequently a lot of other places. I actually just finished a residency where I was playing every Friday and Saturday at Paris. I was playing every Wednesday at Mirage. So I've been doing a lot of, the casinos are so much fun to play here. So I have a really good time doing that. And I always post where I'm performing on my Instagram and Facebook. So if people go to my Instagram, I'm always posting, these are my dates for the month or these are my dates for the week. Kristine Mirelle. So Facebook, any of those.
And obviously, folks, that's how you can connect with her on social media at Kristine Mirelle. You also, if you look at the bottom of her name on the screen there, it also has a website which also connects you to all of her things, all Kristine Mirelle and her social media accounts. If you guys want to find out, download her music. It's available on all digital platforms. We've been playing every song you've heard here today. It's been from Kristine Mirelle, so you can see that she has and that's just some of the songs. She has plenty more out there for you guys to go check out. Her music at KristineMirelle.com if you guys want to check out her sound and her style, and and get into this independent artist that's out there doing things on their own and doing it their own way. What is like with recording with you in the studio? What are you like behind the closed door of a studio and in work mode? Are you that girl?
Everyone has their own methods,
right?
Everyone has their own methods. Some people like drag, some people, I'm completely sober. So I completely like to create everything just where I'm really focused. And I create everything from the very beginning. So I create every melody. I produce, even with these records that I'm working on right now. It's I've produced every portion of it that you hear. It's I brought the music already created,
right,
and then hand it over to another producer for them to add their touches on it. So the whole thing is already done,
right.
And then it's by the way, here's it all done. So I've created the skeleton and all, the bass and the drums and the guitars and everything's there.
Right.
Can you make it better? Because I can only take it so far. Here, I got all these ideas, but it doesn't mean that I'm able to execute all the ideas.
Right.
Great. So it's here's all the ideas. And then the producers usually take it and then they polish it up and make it amazing in their own way. So I feel like it's just a collaboration of here's all my ideas and everything, and you do what you do and make it sound finished.
Right.
And so it's just really cool because it's I always tell everyone, it's like you making a baby. It's like
Yeah, you are building something.
you're building something very personal, and
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about whatever your experiences of life are. So
Right.
it's very, very personal. It's very intimate.
And you just posted also on your social media accounts today. You have some other upcoming interviews,
Yeah.
podcasts. You want to let everybody know what do you got
I
coming up?
posted them, and I don't know. I think the second, I think I'm at the Vibe Show. I
Okay.
think I'm doing the Vibe Show, and then I'm doing sports. I forget what it is. It's on my Instagram. They can look on it. I have a couple more coming up.
She
so.
and on her Facebook too as well. If you're following Kristine on her Facebook, as we get ready to wind down the show here, but it's hard to believe that like wow, an hour goes by.
I know.
Just like
You're
that.
having fun.
When you're having fun. What's been your inspiration? It's one of the things I wanted to talk about. What's been your inspiration wanting to help other artists? Because let's be honest, some artists have egos where they don't want the next person to know all that they know, in fear that this person might take my spot. Why is that a different approach for you? You rather give back versus keep it to yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. The feeling that you get, when I met you, we were doing the charity tour, and I know that a lot of people, and I've told my friends this and we were talking about this today, me and Bess, actually, talking about how passionate we are about what we do, and how people go, oh, you're such a good person for working with kids. But then you go, no, if you ever experienced what that felt like,
right,
you would know that actually it's the most amazing feeling in the world. You walk into a classroom and like 50 kids run after you and hug you and tell you you're the most amazing thing in the world. Who wouldn't want that feeling? And it's the same helping other artists. I've had one gentleman that I worked with recently called me, and he said, I got kicked out of my girlfriend's house. I had to move in with my grandma. I lost my job. She broke my guitar. I have nothing.
Ooh.
And he said, can you help me? And within 9 days, I had helped him book 6 shows.
Wow.
So we booked 6 shows in 9 days, and he calls me and he goes, you're my guardian angel. Thank you. He talks about how, having, you go through, I think as musicians, we go through our little depression stages, or, stuff like that. And that's tough. There's a lot of stuff that we're going through. And so to help people through that, it's like the best feeling in the world. If you got a call and somebody's like, oh my God, I was feeling depressed and you've made me feel like I have life again.
Right.
That's the best feeling in the world. So I think it's that. And then also having that mentality that there's plenty to go around.
Right.
There's plenty to go around. If you're good at what you do and you're talented at what you do, there's always going to be work for you. No one's going to take my job.
Right.
Nobody's going to do what I do. And I'm too. So, it's like I've worked very hard to be good at what I do. So I don't think anyone's going to come for me.
Right.
And they could try.
They could try.
They could try.
They could try.
Yes.
Any final words for the folks that have been listening to you and then following you all through your whole career? And, and maybe some of the new people that are actually just coming on to who Kristine Mirelle is. Any final words for them?
Yeah, I'm just very thankful. I've had people been following me since MySpace. Remember MySpace?
Who was in your top 8?
I know, right? My top 8. And I have people that have been following me for a long time and supporting for so long. And people don't have to; they choose to, and that's a great feeling to know that people are choosing to continue to follow and support me. So I'm just shout outs to everybody that's been doing that. I never ever take that for granted, because the only way that we can do music is if people are supporting us. We can be the best in the world. People don't like us, we're gonna have to go get another job.
You gotta be you, right?
So I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me on.
Oh well, it was not. You guys don't even know. I would message her. I was not stopping until we got her.
It happened finally.
And that's being persistent. You gotta be persistent for the things that you want in life and get out there and push for it. And and just wait and let God's time and take place, and things will happen. Before we leave, tell us about the pink hair. When did that come in? When did you get this? Because Harley Quinn is out there, now.
Yeah,
But
I know. This started, God, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I think, yeah, something like that, 9 or 10 years ago. I started out with just a little bit of bangs.
Right.
Just kind of started adding more and more, and now it's like half pink and half blonde, and it just changes all the time.
Just changing, but it's a cool look. I love that about you.
Thank you.
We're going to take our leave of you guys again. It has been another wonderful show here with Kristine Mirelle. We'll be back again next week, and once again on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. We're gonna close the show with another Kristine Mirelle song. This one is called. I think you told me about this one. Is To Those Who Have Loved and Lost for you. It's called what it's
For
called,
You.
which I think is a really I thought it was a really powerful song. But very befitting, because today was the memorial service for Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant over at the Staples Center. So I think this is a good way to close the show out this week here on Music, Movies, Models, and Mayhem. Shout out to the to the little baby boy for hanging in there. He's been a trooper. He's been actually a really, really good kid. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Make sure you guys be good to yourselves and be good to each other as you go about your week. Stay safe and be safe. We'll be back again here next week. Make sure you guys check out Kristine Mirelle at KristineMirelle.com and follow her and support her and all her music that she has. And look out for her new album coming out this summer. We hope to get her back here on the show and talk about that new album. But this is For You by Kristine Mirelle. Take care, folks. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
I hold you in my mind each night. I dream of that life when it was you, me, and your stubborn ways. I dream of those days. So with everything I was, everything I am, everything I will be, I promise you that I'm gonna do everything right. So when I sleep, I know I will be. I dream of that day when God opens the gates for me. 'Cause He's already opened them for you. I sleep with your photograph. Well, I dream of our lives. Loving you more than I could love myself was the most power I'd ever felt. So with everything I was, everything I am, everything I will be, I promise you that I'm gonna do everything right. So when I sleep, I know how I'll be. I dream of that day when God opens the gates for me. 'Cause He's already opened them for you. So with everything I was, everything I am, everything I will be, I promise you that I'm gonna do everything right. So when I sleep, I know how I'll be. I'll dream of that day when God opens the gates for me. 'Cause He's already opened them. When I sleep, I know how I'll be. I'll dream of that day when God opens the gates for me. Yes. 'Cause He's already opened them for you.